Hey Tool Nuts, I'm Doug with toolnut.com. Today we're going to be going over the new additions and updated SKIL Power Tools Benchtop shop tools. So as you can see here, we have a good amount of what SKIL is offering right now on these tools. These are great entry-level DIY tools. You're not going to have to spend thousands of dollars to build your shop and get going. So let's get into it. Let's start first with the SKIL Benchtop Grinder. So this is an 8-inch grinder. Out of box also, all these tools, I think the drill press took the most time, was about 10 or 12 minutes. As far as this grinder, it was a couple minutes. You're just putting the guards on here. There's a couple of Phillips screws here. You can see they're adjustable. This one even has a magnifying glass in it. You're getting the two wheels were already installed, so you're going to get a finer grit and a coarser grit wheel. And then the only other thing I had to put on here was the support feet, for, whatever you're going to be sharpening, grinding down. It's a nice, place to put whatever you're going to be sharpening, support it. While you're grinding, as always, make sure you're using your safety glasses. While you're doing this, there's an adjustable lamp here as well on this. One switch, a little water bin there as well that clipped in. A lot of these tools also have holes in the bases where you can bolt it down on that. So great addition for your bench top tools to have in the shop. Grinder is usually always a must for doing stuff at home or in the shop. So 8-inch. For all the full specs and details, I'm not going to be going through all that. Everything, pricing, specs, details is at toolnut.com. So you're going to want to check it out there. All right, so that's the grinder. Let's go next to the scroll saw. So this is a 16-inch variable speed scroll saw. Really, really nice. I'm familiar with a lot of other brands. I was very impressed with this. It has a lot of features on this saw. So we're going to run through on this one. So first of all, I mentioned it's variable speed. So let's go through the controls first. A lot of the tools here you're going to see their on-off switches are safety. So this is a key. I pull that out, it's not going to work. So always check if your switch isn't working. Make sure that's fully engaged and out. And if you want to have it make your tool safe, if you're not in the shop for kids or someone else to come in there and touch it, pull that key out, hide it, and you'll be good. Dust port on here while we're here, but turn it on. You can see super smooth, low vibration on that. And here's your variable speed switch. You can see really smooth. A lot of these over the years ago, other brands, you have a lot of bounce to that. So that I thought was really nice. Now, this is really cool. So if I switch over here, this is going to go to our foot pedal. And you can put this on the floor, control it with the foot pedal. So you get that. There's a spot to stow it on the side of the scroll saw, and you can still use your variable speed on that. And if you want to just switch back and not use the foot pedal, you're going to switch back there. And again, this goes here on the side and stows like that. All right, so that's your switches. I already mentioned the dust port here. The table you can bevel, quick and easy. Set it here. All right. Let me just turn it on again. You probably saw already there's an LED light here. You can adjust it to the tool. There's also a blower feature like most scroll saws have. So this is going to blow air through the little tube, come down here and hit your work area and dust so that you can see what you're doing on that. I think I'm good. Let's unplug this here while I'm showing off the rest of the tool. Spin it around here. So this, you always want to make sure you adjust your foot to your workpiece so that when your workpiece, whatever you're cutting is under there, it's not bouncing. So you have adjustment there. All right. You also have like a little storage spot here for your Allen keys that come with it for adjustment, your scroll saw blades. You're getting two with this, and that's what I want to go into next here. So this uses standard scroll saw blades. So this is a pinless, uses that. It also uses the pin. So I already have the pin in there. That's easy set for that one. And then what they do, they give you, for the pinless, the clamps there. They even give you this quick setup. So you just put it up there. You're going to use your Allen keys set your blade in there, and then those hook into here. If you detension this right there, you can also tension the blade and detension it here, plus and minus. It's very easy, user-friendly. Lots of reminders on the tools showing what each thing does. So that's your tensioner. You know, if I take this, the blade comes out. You can see how easy it pops out, and just put the pins there. If I wanted to use, you know, you use more of the pinless, you have that option as well. Like I said, you're going to put this through here, and then these go in and kind of hook in on there is how those are used on this. Those also store when you're not using them down there, as well as your extra blades. So I think I got everything on that for right now. So great tool on the 16-inch scroll saw. And again, so 16-inch is your throat opening here from the blade to the back of the tool. All right, so now next, let's go to the bandsaw. So this is the 9-inch bandsaw. Again, it's going to be your throat from the blade to the back of the bandsaw. This uses, I believe, a 59.5-inch blade. So we are going to have extra blades from SKIL available, as well as for the scroll saw. I should have mentioned that too. We're going to have a multi-pack selection of blades available for this. We're also going to have some bandsaw blades available. Check all that out at toolnet.com. So again, you can see it has the same switch, built-in safety there. Table, out of box, all I had to do was put the table on this. I think it took like 3 minutes. It was like a couple of like hand cranks. You're getting the miter gauge with that as well. Let's open it up here first, and we'll spin it around to show some of the other stuff. So this is how you're going to access your blade, get the blade on and off. You're also going to want to, you can see here, sometimes you're going to have to adjust these wheels, which I'll show you when I spin it around. There's some knobs on the back that tilt the wheels to center the blade so it's not going to travel off of this wheel or the bottom. There's a built-in brush here. Here's your drive belt. It is stepped, so you can change the speeds here as well on that. Okay. There's a dust port built into this as well. Here, if you just press this, this opens this. You're going to have to adjust your guides, your ball bearing guides there. You want them just about touching the blade to keep it centered. Right now, I didn't adjust it, and you can see the blade is going back and forth there. So you have it there, but also there's another ball bearing behind it that this, when you put pressure and you're pushing your wood through or your material through against the blade is going to get pushed back. So you want to also adjust it so that this blade is almost just touching that ball bearing, and it really keeps it centered on that. This is your tensioner here for removing the blade and tightening it, so you can tighten and loosen that. The blade would come out off through here. That's why you want to open this through your throat plate. You do have to remove this bolt right here and wing nut to get the blade to come out. And then when you put your replacement blade on, you're going to put that back, close everything up, make sure everything's tensioned here as well. So there's a knob here on the back. Let's just show that quick. So the biggest thing, just like the scroll saw, let's show the back of it here. So there's your dust port I was talking about. You can tilt the table. That's all I had to do was put that like that. And then you're going to loosen these. And then it's like a rack and pinion. You can adjust and tilt the table. Set it to your angle. You're going to want to set this. I forgot to do that. That's going to be your 0 point. Because out of box you had to put this on there. So I didn't do that. But you have your set key here at 0. You just take the Allen key that comes with the tool, set this to 0 so you know what angle you're at when you go ahead and tilt the table. But you're going to loosen those again, rack and pinion. So you have that there, all right? So here are the knobs on the back. And just like I was starting to say with a scroll saw, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to want to make sure that you adjust the height here to just above your material. That way the ball bearing guides are keeping your blade super straight and true when you're making your cut. So always make sure you never want to have a thin piece of wood and this all the way up there. Move it down, adjust that, then make sure you tighten it. This right here is going to be for centering your blade. That's the tensioner I was talking about when we were around the front. So, you know, You don't want the blade off to the side, you want it more to the center. So to get the angle of the wheels correctly, you're going to want to adjust that. And then again, this was your blade tensioner that we already kind of went through on the front. And I think that's really it when it comes to this. So another great addition. This one was an update. They had another one before this, so this is one of the updates. Some of these other tools are brand new to the line when it comes to that. So easy setup, easy to use. Again, you can see here on the base also, you can bolt it down to your bench if you'd like as well. Scroll saw also had that, and there's rubber feet. Actually, I didn't mention on the scroll saw. All right, let's go to the belt and disc sander. So pretty easy. This is gonna use a standard 6-inch PSA stick-on disc here. So you get one of those with it. I'm honestly not sure the grit that comes with it. And then this is going to be a 4x36-inch standard sanding belt. You do get one of those as well. Out of box, all I had to do was the table here. You do get a miter gauge with this. This does have a dust port on it as well. You can tilt. All I had to do was the table. Put the table on, tilt it to your angle, set it. This also has holes in the base for setting it, and you could see there as well. The only other thing I had to put on it was this support for when you're using the belt sander. Always remember, they give you the Allen key when you're positioning this at whatever angle you want, or if you have it set back to the base, that when you get it set to the angle you want, you're retightening that so it's not going to move or bounce on you, especially if you're in the vertical position. You want to tighten that as well. All right, so that's the belt and disc sander for that. Again, you can see it has the same switch on it with the safety to remove as well. So, oh, here we go. Very important. I'm glad I didn't finish. So for belt change, quick and easy, just open that. Belt will come off the sides. If you have that there, just make sure you lift it. Looks like they're giving you an 80 grit belt as well. For that, this is directional. When it comes to these belts, you can see there's an arrow here. This is going this way, your arrow's up here. So make sure that you get it set to the right direction. Now, this other knob right here, like a lot of other handheld belt sanders or stationary belt sanders, this is going to be to center your belt. Sometimes when you get this first set, you know, and you turn on the motor, the belt might want to go start running off this way. It might want to go this way. This, as you start turning it, if it's running, you're going to be able to center your belt to make sure it stays in the center without traveling either to the right or to the left. So those are the other things there on this tool. Now, I think we're done. All right, so the last one, the drill press. Like I said, out of box, this did take a few more minutes than the others, but it wasn't bad. I think it took me about 12 minutes to put it together. So this is going to be a 10-inch drill press. A lot of features on this. So here, we'll start at the top here. So this is going to be where you're going to change your variable speed on that. You have different RPMs here. Tells you what to set, where to set the belt on, the stepped on both of those, front and back. And then also, it's kind of giving you a chart here for the diameter bit, what you're going to be drilling into. So you got some wood, aluminum, brass, iron, steel. It tells you, gives you kind of an idea of what RPM you want to set the machine to. So that's pretty cool. Quick reference chart on that. To detension the motor, this moves back and forth to get to your belt to change it. You just turn this knob here. You can see that moves on a spring there. And then you can see that kind of loosen the blade, or the belt. And then you can move it up a step. And once you get it set, you're going to want to kind of tension that. Make sure you don't forget to tighten that back. Very important. All right. Very easy right there to move the head of the drill press. You can see here also, here is the chuck key. You have a spot for that. The chuck already set there on that. It was easy to do. You know, we can do that quickly and then use that to tighten it up on that. So I put the piece of wood here so we could show this. So on our controls, there we Make sure I'm tensioned again before I turn this thing on. So again, same kind of safety switch here. So turn it on. Now, this is the cool part. They have a built-in laser for your center, which is cool. Comes out up here. And then you also have an LED light built in. So you can control that. They're not always on. You can turn them on and off as you wish. So that's really cool on that. Here's your depth setting here. So you got a 2-inch travel on the head. And then you can just move these down depending on what height setting or what depth you want to drill down to. You're going to set that so that when you bring the head down, it's going to stop at that depth. So you have that. On that, the table does move up and down. You can also move this out of the way, just like most drill presses here. So if I take that off, you can see I can spin this. If I don't need this and I need some more capacity here, because this is a 10-inch, this will travel 10 inches. The table will give you about 10 inches. If you need a little bit more, you move this to the side and this spins out of the way so that you can do that. This locks. This is also rack and pinion here. You can see to adjust the table here. Try to spin it around some more. You can see that just moves like that. Always make sure you tighten that when you're ready to use it. This table does also, there's a bolt here. If you loosen this, you can also bevel the table here, and there's a little guide here as well. You can see that jack right there to tilt your table if you need to do some angled drilling. So I think that's it. I think we hit everything on the drill press there. Really, really, really well made. Like I said, if you want to get into it and get a couple of tools, you're not going to be spending a ton of money. You can add as you wish. For this and all other SKIL power tools, check them out now at toolnut.com.